Hello everyone, my name is Germaine and I'm the coordinator of the Indigenous village at the Fusion Festival in Surrey.
I'm Derrick White Sky Cloud, Tanchikiwau, and I said hello, how are you all out there? I actually am the culture director of the Métis Historic and Culture Preservation Society, which is the Métis Museum. And I'm also working at a radio station, CFRO 100.5 FM, which actually I have a show called Métis Matters Radio. And I'm also one of the people that actually joined the Fusion Festival back in 2011 with our own Métis Pavilion. So with also support with our BC Métis Federation, who actually helped us bring us there.
Well, I've actually been involved with the Fusion Festival right from the very first year. I did take a break for about 4 years, so total I've been involved 8 years.
As well as myself, I've been involved with the Fusion Festival, I guess I would say pretty beginning, because we actually had originally have our first powwow back in 2010, and then I decided to join Canada for that very first year, which was 2011, and then we began our own Métis Pavilion back in 2012, and that's where it started. So I had a lot of fun doing it, and like every year as we begin our Métis Pavilion, it starts to grow, and whatever we were able to bring in, we brought in a Red River cart. We had everything all set up, including the Nova Métis, which is the late Ken Fisher. He actually came with us, and Keith Henry with the BC Métis Federation, and all the people on the board. We welcomed everyone in our pavilion. That's where it started. So, and then every year, just grow and grow and grow.
Wow, I have a lot of favorite memories from the festival. I actually really enjoyed the 10th anniversary, where we were able to bring in all the different Indigenous groups. We had Métis, which is, I believe, close around the year that we joined together.
Canada Day.
Yeah, and then we had the Inuit that year, which was amazing because it's the only year that we were actually able to bring in Métis, Inuit people, sorry. And of course we had the setup, which was amazing. We had all those teepees around the site, and it just drew everybody's attention to those. And then we had the West Coast cedar backdrops too, so it was really, really exciting to watch all the people come into the village and take pictures behind all of that. And of course with you, Derrick, the Métis was amazing, the setup that you had.
Well, I think what it is I enjoyed most as well is, sure, when we came over to join you guys, because we were we've always have been individual people. And when Germaine convinced me to come over, she said, "Give it a shot. Just come with us. Just for that one time if you have to." Okay. She bent my rubber arm. So I came over, and I never regretted it, because when she provided us a 30-foot teepee, and those are big. These are ones you can walk into. And I think what I was really happy about, because the public love to experience what it's like to be inside of a teepee. And that's basically what it's about, because a lot of Métis actually lived in teepees, and as well as First Nations people, because those are actually traveling homes. They're nomadic. And so, but we had like 3 or 4 teepees on location, including the West Coast, plus the Inuit setup. And then I got my good friend Dale Haggerty from the Métis Museum. He came down from Vavenby, which is our president of the Métis Museum, and he brought the Red River cart. So we combined all of that together. That gave it one major amount of history. Plus, and then I made a whole bunch of new banner signs, set it all up. So you gave the public the introduction of who we all are as individuals, or as Métis people, as well as including others. So it was a very welcoming setup. And
we also had the black powder tents. Those were amazing too. Yeah. But I'd also like to give out a shout out to Tony for all
Solomon.
Those teepees. Yeah, mukbang teepees. But also Steve at Hummingbird Designs with all the backdrops that he's brought in over the years, and the totem poles, and all, it was amazing.
Yeah, and also, wonderful that we actually have a stage set up, because we have all our great entertainers.
Yeah.
And people come on stage and they're performing throughout the whole 2 days. We had a lot of fiddle players, guitar players, singers, dancers, and you were bringing them in from all across Canada. It wasn't just local.
Exactly, and the thing that I really enjoy about the whole Indigenous villages, we're able to show the public that, we have different styles of culture in the different locations across the country. You got the West Coast with the button blankets, of course, the Métis, with the jigging and the fiddling, and then we have the powwow, which is always a big attraction in the village, and then we have the Inuit with the throat singing. So that was exciting, and then of course all our contemporary artists. So we have a lot for people to see there. Oh wow! I think I just answered that really, because we've been able to show the public that it's not just one style within the different communities across the country. There's the West Coast, there's the Métis, there's the Inuit, there's the powwow, the plains, powwow. But when you get down east, there's still other parts of the culture there that we don't even see out here. So there's such a variety.
We had some people actually came from the south. The Navajo came down here for a visit, and they were quite happy. They're quite surprised how it was set up, and they really loved it. A friend of mine came all the way down from Nevada to see this event. That was a couple of years ago. So, but I would say also the most fun too is actually because we have our Métis Museum set up on one side inside our teepee, and then we're also our vendors, because we need to acknowledge them as well, because these are hard-working mom-pop businesses that are trying to get their crafts out there to the public, which is original, not from another country, folks. This is original, traditional items that are made by our people, and this is something that we found was important that we need to promote. But the major part, I would say, is all like I keep going back to the entertainment. I love the music, and especially when you hear the powwow drummers, or you hear the dancers dancing. You can hear the jingles of the dress, or the men that are dancing. Then the smells of the food. Oh my God, all the time.
Wow, that's a big question. I mean, I guess I've learned a lot, but one thing that I find that's common amongst everyone is we all have our own separate food and clothing, but we all are actually the same. We all actually enjoy, sharing, and we have the same
similarities. I would say because I've got some background, not just because Métis, I got some Ukrainian Polish background in my family, and I grew up with ground pierogies, and we call petahe or kubasas, that sort of thing. But the important thing I enjoyed was there was a lady that came up to me, and because we wear our sash, our Métis are well known for our sashes. And she says to me, she goes, "That's our country sash," she said. What do you mean your country sash? She says, "Where I'm from," she said, "it's the same similar design and color. That's our country sash. You stole it from us." And I said, "No, I didn't." She said, "Well, it's all the same." And I said, "Well, let me tell you something. A lot of people came down from other European countries, which is influenced of the sash." And I said, these are weaved by people who came from other countries. So whether it's the Scottish, the English, the French, as well as the Europeans, because they came in after. So these are all the influences of colors. And she says, "Well, that's okay. I guess I'll go with that." So it never really. She just thought that we were taking something from them. But the thing is that sashes have been around for a long time. And one thing I learned in history, that in the European countries, that if there was anybody who was in the military and had, say, rescued someone of higher standard, then they would get a sash. It was receive the sash of importance. And that's exactly what we do ourselves. So if we want to acknowledge someone in the community, we actually give them a sash to honor them as a honorary Métis. So very similar.
Yeah. You know what I like? I actually like the fact that you can get small portions, because I like to go around and check the different small portions so that you have enough, that you can try other things rather than having one big portion and not any more room to eat for the rest of the day.
Well, me, first thing in the morning is that homemade jam and bannock.
Oh, okay.
When you're going to a festival, the first thing in your mind is, I'm going to have my bannock, because there's some really great bannock makers there. And we have our friend that she brings her booth, and she makes bannock
The
in different
bannock
kinds
queen.
of design.
Yeah.
She's the bannock queen. She is phenomenal. Her cooking is absolutely phenomenal. So by the time you're done the festival, you must have been put on at least a good 10 pounds.
Yeah.
But the bannock is too darn good. You can't turn it down. And it just lingers and wafts across the, and you can, especially with a good wind, other people are coming from the gate, not too far from us, and they're smelling that, so they're going like, hey, what's this? Her vehicle, her setup booth is constantly busy.
I especially like the fact that she makes the desserts.
Yes.
Whipped cream, blueberries, all of that stuff on the bannock.
Homemade.
And the tacos, those are amazing too.
Homemade jams.
Yeah.
Homemade jams. And it's like there. But other foods, again, one of the pierogies that I tried, other foods, I think foods throughout the events, through the years. I got some of my favorites. That's all I can say is, but again,
But I think a lot of times we're so busy within our little areas that we really don't get a chance to go out and spend as much time as we would probably like to all
that's
around
true.
the other areas.
Because I can't find you sometimes because you're being pulled away. I get pulled away, and if I got to try and get a bite to eat, by the time I come back, I'm like, where's Derrick? So that's normal. But because they enjoy, wanting to find out from me or from you, but our history, like what's, and again, the experience of being who we are, that's the most fun of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.